to only post the videos when I have a positive experience, and all of the videos I post is only.
All right, so I have to say this. Sorry, microwave going off, but he's kind of right. He's in a particular situation where he's, I believe he has like 35K subscribers, but he's well known in the black community as far as I understand. But he's in quite a dilemma because people know him. People know that his recommendations could essentially change their life. He reminds me of like the Michelin star food reviewer, essentially. Like if they come to your place, there's a reason why they come randomly. Because if they knew you, it's like other things, but yeah, if they knew you were coming, they would bring you to the finest place. The people there would give the finest service, and it wouldn't necessarily be authentic. It would just be like the curated version of their content, you know. Sorry, what's that? And so, one of the issues that I kind of have with these Atlanta folks is just that, like, for one, this is my issue with we have such a strange loyalty to each other, where this reminds me of T.I., where when he was in comedy and actual comedians, people who actually do this for a living, was criticizing him, and instead of him just taking criticism and saying, okay, I'm gonna do better because this is something I want to try, I'm a little serious about, but based off his attempts, it was not necessarily as good. But instead, he lashed out and said, you got to only be about positivity. That's what I got out of it. So he just be about positivity and stuff like that. And my thing is just like, I understand the effects of constructive criticism and bad criticism, where it's just taking shots, and a critique, and the lack of being able to handle a critique. And this is what I get, is that these Atlantas, I don't know what you'd call people from Atlanta, but like those folks, they're not really good at taking critiques, you know. And it's a black capitalist area, very affluent place. But the problem is, and I had this idea, the problem is they just can't take criticism. And that's not good. That, like, even when we were criticizing some of these big name companies like Nike and stuff like that, they had to fold. Or at least they had to reconsider what their decision was, because it affected their money. And again, I understand the idea that a negative food review is going to affect their money. But at the same time, just like him, is going to affect the businesses in question. But he's one influencer. He's one person, you know. And I understand there's a lot that's riding on him and his family, but he's just one person. He's just one person. So I don't understand this idea. I guess I do understand it because it's dual-ended. Like, both people have some at stake. He has his individual family versus thousands upon thousands of critics, people who give threats, the type that's not helpful, the type that's harmful to his family. He's one person versus a potential hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands or something like that. And it's just not going to be good for him. And he said, hey, I'm going to cancel this tour, you know, reducing the spotlight on other black businesses, because these black people, maybe they're black capitalists, maybe there's a difference between them and the average black person, but they black people with money, and people who attend these businesses, they're not giving him a easy time. So I wish, in terms of black community, that we would have this support, but not this unhealthy support, whereas you only say positive things for us. I understand the idea of an image. You need to have a positive image, but at the same time, he's one YouTuber, and he has to be honest about his takes. Otherwise, it's not really doing anybody any good. And yes, when I watch FD Signifier's video about this guy not truly understanding Atlanta culture, and that's just simply the black bourgeoisie, and your average experience is going to be a bit catered to you and stuff like that, that's fine, I suppose. I guess it is good to mention the culture. But I'm not a fan of the idea where you're a patron, and you don't have a stellar experience, and you're just honest about that. Now, mind you, I don't know if he'd ever really get a stellar experience because of his acclaim. He might never get a average experience just because of who he is and how much people know about him. And the power of his critiques on a business. Mind you, I think he's been very gracious and very thoughtful about protecting the same people that he's having particular criticisms about. But people are still, for some reason, acting out and doing damage to these businesses despite his consistent warnings and consistent dissuading from that behavior, from said behavior. So I hope that we have to learn to take criticism. You know, yes, should he have learned a little bit about Atlanta culture? I don't even know about Atlanta culture. But if it's going to be the black bourgeoisie, I would expect them in the same way of direct proportion to this, what is it, middle to upper class lifestyle, to behave similarly, to not be so have a knee-jerk reaction about criticism, negative criticism. I might be like, come on now, like it comes with money, like, right? I would think. But that's just that just shows how human we are. Like, at least that's what I'm thinking, you know, just the human response. But the thing is, just if it's Atlanta with money, then I'm holding them as a city to a higher standard. In the same way you could put the Chicago to a higher standard. They still need to be put to a higher standard. They're not poor, so I can't say their problem is because of poverty. And maybe the same issues we have with capitalism is affecting the poor in Atlanta, and they are the ones who are getting upset. But at the same time, if this is just Atlanta as a whole, now this isn't his shout out to I am Eloho, but that's this isn't just necessarily to the poor Atlanteans there. It's just we got to do better as a collective. You know, maybe it's the culture, I don't know, but that's it. It's just it's one dude, and all this criticism is just a million, you know, a bunch of people to one guy and his family, you know, giving his honest opinions, even if it was curated. It's an issue. It's really should be telling. You know, if Gordon Ramsay was doing this stuff, would you be blowing him up? Or, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. But yeah, you gotta do better. This is just one dude. Come on now, he black. Why can't we support our own black businesses?